Welcome to another episode of the Reluctant Adult Podcast. My name is Paul, and I am joined, as always, by the man who bent his Wookiee, Bill.
Hi, everyone. All the way backwards. That's right.
Oh, that's too far. Poor guy.
I creased the card.
That's the worst. When you have a creased card, and then you still win the diorama though, because it's what's better than a case of original Star Wars action figures in their original packaging. Could you imagine walking down the street? I mean, now they've done the reproduction, so you would probably just assume that these are reproductions. But like before that, walking down the street, you see that like, oh my God, what happened? This is the most amazing thing my eyes have. Jesus Christ, what a god. So this is gonna be a week. We've got
quite the week.
2024, man, starting off not so hot. Like, just
no.
We got some problems. We got some problems to work through, but we're gonna work them. We're gonna work through them together. We're here for you. We're gonna talk it through. Everybody's gonna be okay, hopefully. So, the top story of the week for me, especially, Super 7, Brian Flynn. He was on a podcast. I believe it was the Fwoosh. I don't know who's still working over there, but somebody was talking to him. He admitted, I think is the best way to phrase it. He admitted that his company, Super 7, no longer has a working relationship with the Walt Disney Corporation, which encompasses a few things, because they were doing Ultimates and reaction figures, and then like those larger vinyl figures for like the classic Disney characters. Not like the classic. That was sort of a weird thing where they never did like the Fab Five, if you're familiar with that term. Like they did Mickey as the sorcerer, and what is it? Sorcerer Mickey from
Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah, so like, you know, from these specific movies, but not just like a general Mickey. I think people maybe would have preferred like Mickey and Donald and Goofy, but no, we got Alice in Wonderland, we got the hippos from Fantasia or something. I don't even know. Like it was very strange choices, which is something that Super 7 is known for. They're strange choices. So those are done. But more painful to me is that, and you know, if this is not a shock to me, because I think we've been calling this for a little while now. The Simpsons are part of Disney now, because Disney purchased 20th Century Fox, or whatever they call themselves. They own The Simpsons. So we got Series 1 last year, quarter one. It was very early on in the year. Okay. Was it even last year, or was it the year before?
I mean, I feel like you were on a collector's high with the Santas getting in just in time for Christmas.
Yes.
But I feel like, if we're going back, I feel like your excitement for The Simpsons was in January.
Okay.
January, February. So first quarter.
Definitely very early on.
Yeah.
And the whole year went by.
Right.
No Series 2.
No Series 2. You still got the best head, but no Series 2.
That's right. We got a lot of play out of the figures we did have. And then obviously those figures, like all of the Super 7 Ultimates, went on clearance. And they're still available on Entertainment Earth. Use code TOYPOD, save another 10% on there. But I was like, man, Series 2, it's got that Krusty figure. It just looks so good. But that Krusty figure went through some changes, too, because originally it was portrayed as having the monkey having a cigarette. And also, was there a Krusty hand holding a cigarette?
Krusty had an alternate hand with a cigarette, yes.
So we were pretty sure that was going to get dropped. And sure enough, the next time we got updated models, those hands were gone. Monkey was not smoking anymore.
No.
So I don't even know why they tried. I don't know if this relationship with Disney was a little bit of friction from the beginning, if they were trying to like pull this stuff, and Disney was like, obviously no. Immediately no. What are you even doing here?
Sure.
So, year went by, nothing. Well, not nothing. 3 other series went up for pre-order. Series 2, Krusty, let me pull up Let me pull up Entertainment Earth. I can tell you who's in this set. It was like Bartman.
Okay. By Series 1, though, you were all in. You
Well, I loved Series 1 so much.
Yes. You said I need.
I still do. Figure of the Year. That, I don't even know which one. Just set.
Deep Space Homer. But you loved Poochie,
great.
too. That was the thing.
Poochie was great.
You were all in for
great.
Poochie.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Series 2. Hank Scorpio.
Yep.
Duffman. Bartman and Krusty. Great sets. Still annoying that we're not getting normal Bart. It's a Bart as Bartman, which like after series after season 1, like we didn't really, that wasn't like a thing. Like they tried that right away. Like
we did the Bartman in the early 90s. Everyone got around that. Who was
making the figures? Who was making those original figures?
Was it Playmates or was it Mattel? I think it was Playmates.
It wasn't Playmates. Did World of Springfield later. Yeah. Okay. So Mattel.
Yes, okay. So
they did that set that had the core family plus Bartman plus
and
Nelson,
the couch and Nelson. Yeah.
And the couch. Yeah. So it's like, you know, that was marketing early on. So it's weird. You know, that's not like they stopped that pretty early on. They gave up on that. So, but Super 7's like, yeah, we'll throw that in. We love the wacky variants. We're still not giving you normal Homer. You're not getting normal Bart, but we're gonna give you that. Fine. You know. I think we all assumed, let's just let Brian get this out of his system. By series 3, maybe they'll just give us the whole family, like something like that.
Sure.
But no! Series 3 had... Okay, this was even weirder. So this went down to 4 figures. So we had Mr. Burns, Ralph Wiggum, and the 2 aliens, Kane and Kodos.
For more money. As well.
Well, they're like super large figures. Yeah.
Right.
Like 20 extra bucks for each of those. Yeah. So that was weird. Those are pre-sold out. So I don't know if I think like at some point Super 7's like, these aren't selling too well. We're going to bring down the numbers considerably. And then even though we were 2 series deep in pre-orders and no sight, they were not on the horizon. Super 7's like, here's another pre-order. And now this is where we went off the tracks, I think. We just like, this was crazy. Dedrick Tatum, who is like Springfield's version of Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Radioactive Man, but not like Rainier Wolfcastle dressed up as Radioactive Man. The comic version of Radioactive Man as an action figure. Yeah. And then I can't even find who else was in that set. They like fell off the page.
Oh.
Who else was there? There were other characters. Oh,
there was at least one.
Flanders as the devil.
Okay, right.
And that might be it. Oh no, Moo Moo Homer. Moo Moo
Homer.
So there you go.
So another variant on Homer.
So 3 full sets of figures that we've had pre-orders for, some of them at least a year. These are still going to be made, allegedly. This is what Brian said. The pre-orders are still happening.
I don't think they will.
Well, he said that we'll see them soon.
I think this is smoke and mirrors, Paul.
But I do think these will get pushed out, but my concern is they knew the license was ending. Are they going to put in as much effort? Like, are we going to see like accessories dropped? Are we going to see the quality of the plastic dropped? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm more concerned that we'll get these, but they'll be like crap compared to Series 1.
Oh, so they'll be like that Lou Ferrigno figure.
From what?
Not Lou Ferrigno. The Andre the Giant figure. I beg your pardon. Andre the
From
Giant.
Super 7? Yeah.
Correct.
The terrible. Yeah.
He'll have some wild, over easy egg omelet eyes.
Yeah. The plastic is like the wrong shade. Yeah.
Right.
That's my concern because I love Series 1 so much. I'm still going to get these. I still want them. But it's going to be so sad if the quality drops. And now, obviously people know that this line is ending. Brian tried to be like, well, I'm still hopeful that one day we can sort of get back together with Disney. But, like, I don't know. I feel like that bridge might have been burned. I hope not, because, again, I love these figures. But are people who have pre-ordered going to cancel because why do you want to keep collecting an expensive set that you know is going nowhere? You know you're not getting the core family. We saw Marge and Lisa, but they never went up for pre-order. We're not getting them.
They were not getting any core family. We're not getting any additional cast of characters.
Dedrick Tatum,
it's a deadline.
Last figure in the set. It's a deadline.
Sure.
Deadline walking.
Yeah.
So do you think if you had the set pre-ordered, would you cancel it? Why put more money in something? Why waste your money?
Why waste your money? I feel like there's not enough meat on the bone with these figures to really like say, oh, this is my Krusty figure. It's like, okay, great. You know, another company could get the license and say, oh, I'll make a better Krusty.
Or an in scale with something else. These are their own scale. They don't scale with the Playmates figures. I don't know what else you'd want them to scale with. They scale with the other Ultimate figures. So if you want the Ninja Turtles to team up with the Simpsons, you could make that happen.
Yeah.
So I won't say I'm devastated because I think we all, at least we've talked about it. We knew this was going to happen. We knew that this wasn't a healthy line. I'm actually, if these actually do come out, if Series 2, forget about Series 3 and 4. I'm just saying, if I can get that Krusty, I will be happy because I really,
I don't think after
if
that,
it's
I
good
don't think
as
after
Series
that.
1.
Yeah.
You don't think, well, I mean, if you look at the original shipping dates, Series 1 should be out in January, or Series 2 should be out in January. And then the next one is either February or March, and then the next one is either March or April. So in theory, we could get 3 sets in the first quarter of 2024, and then nothing ever again.
Nothing again. Oof. It's
tricky. 3 sets? That's a full calendar year. Like, he could have just not said anything, and like obviously we would be like, why are there no pre-orders? But like if we kept getting figures through the entire year, we would have been like, this is normal. This is more than we got last year.
Right. This is like every other company. I feel like they're out of Disney's good graces. I feel like they're too strong. They're too small of a company to really produce this for such a major corporation and sustain it.
Well, that was what Brian was trying to, without saying, say, where Disney had these certain expectations, and Brian was like, well, I don't know if that's realistic. So I think Super 7 is really good at being like, look what we can do. Look at, these are the things we wanted to do. Yeah. And then maybe not actually being able to do that. Like, they have so many IPs now. It takes so long for them to get these toys out.
Well, they have.
By the time they come out, it's like
fewer now at this point.
Well, yeah, it's starting.
You know, you go from being able to count them on 2 hands, and all of a sudden now you're down to 1.
I just think if they didn't have Turtles, maybe we would have seen some more from these other lines. Like, I think Turtles and Disney took up so much of their bandwidth that everything else fell to the wayside. I mean, if you follow wrestling and you were interested in getting these major wrestling figure podcast guys, you know, Series 2, it's been over a year now. They're still in the works. They're still, like, there for a while there. The guys were asking fans to start contacting Super 7 because they were getting no contact. They didn't know what was going on.
Right.
So I think Super 7 is a company that's bit off more than it can chew and going through some serious growing pains because they're realizing they it's just not possible. It's not feasible. And then you had 2020 that set unrealistic expectations in terms of how many toys people are willing to buy. As soon as people could leave their homes again, that purchasing power went way down. People started buying so much less. That's why everything that was produced during that time is on clearance now, because there's just so much product out there. So we don't know more than that.
Yep. Uncharted territory ahead for Super 7.
If we get these 3 additional Simpsons sets, I will be pleasantly surprised. And I mean, that's a year worth of product. So we'll revisit it in a year. Maybe something will have happened.
I think we'll have a good indicator with the next series that comes out.
Yeah,
how it's going to fare.
What you said was interesting. I do wonder if another company will get the Disney license and then do Simpsons figures. I could definitely see that. And then that sort of like really makes like these superfluous. Like, what is the point if the next company does a good job? Imagine if a company like Jada Toys gets the Simpsons license. We see what they're doing with Street Fighter, with Mega Man. They could very realistically make Simpsons figures for retail that look great, that are well articulated, and keep that price really low. And then that would just like completely destroy any need for these Super 7 Simpsons. So there's a lot that could happen. We'll see. I really want that Krusty figure though. So as soon as that goes up as in stock, whoever has it, I'm getting it, because I just need that in my collection.
Good for you.
Good for me.
Good for you. I know you've been talking about that Krusty figure for a year now.
For a year plus.
Him.
I just want it. And if I'm disappointed in it, that's going to be my greatest action figure disappointment in my life. I think so. Empire Magazine. I'm always amazed when there are still magazines, but Empire Magazine came out this week. They had 2 covers. You put them together, glow in the dark. The cast of Ghostbusters Firehouse. No, what's it called? Frozen Empire.
Frozen Empire.
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Whole lot of people in flight suits. Everybody gets a flight suit.
Everybody.
Most notably, Janine.
Finally.
Suiting up. We got one.
Looking dynamic. Yeah, like, what's she up to? It's about time, I would say.
About time. Even got the name patch.
She's been wearing a flight suit outside of the movies since the 80s.
Right. Real Ghostbusters, obviously. The toys. Yep. Did the toys have her? She had a toy, but was she in a flight suit in any of those sets?
Oh yeah.
Not like a traditional one though.
No. But yeah, so no. They got her obviously with the original Fright features. And then the secondary Fright features figure, like it was like the extreme Fright features. But no, she was sculpted into, they had the series with the gadgets.
Oh yeah, okay.
The backpack figures.
Yeah. Where she's purple with a blue.
Right. Okay. But
so
no glow in the dark, so she didn't get an ecto-glow treatment.
Somebody makes a bootleg of that though.
If I could ever get it, that'd be great. Yeah.
So they just use this mold because this is her. Even has the straps for the proton pack, but this didn't come with a proton pack.
No.
This figure. So there's no like, we don't know what her like the wave of proton stream would look like.
Sure.
But people have painted her up in pink. Yeah. Oh, that would be nice. Come on, Hasbro. At least give us that. If you're not going to give us
at least
figures, Janine. So, I don't know if we'll get her in action figure form. I don't know. We still don't know if they're doing anything for, like, the adult Ghostbuster line, if we're getting the Plasma series this go around.
Sure.
Because those obviously did not perform super well.
No.
Again, not really their fault since the movie was delayed. The figures came out like a year before. It's not really their fault. But, I don't know. But it was good to see everybody in there. People are really excited, I think, about this. I don't know why they're more excited this time about the guys suiting up than they were last time. Maybe it just feels more real because it's like they're going to be.
I feel like
they're going to be more.
Well, so that was with Afterlife. It was kind of it was almost a guarantee that they would be in there, and I think it was a leaked situation that they'll show up eventually. But it wasn't like a guarantee how involved. This makes it seem like, as a cast of characters, they're probably going to have more screen time than just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Potentially.
It's like the first one was like a cutscene. You could have like taken it out. Like we don't even know if they were on set with the rest of the people.
No,
very weird.
Exactly.
It felt very weird. It was more about Egon in that one. Yeah, I think they even in the story they have this part about how Winston is sort of running things now. And he doesn't want Ray like out in the field. He wants him like behind the scenes, and Ray's like, So Ray probably like does something and then like accidentally unleashes hell on Earth.
We'll get the classic, what did you do, Ray?
What did you do, Ray?
Right.
So that's fun. Get some good character development there.
Another thing with this, it got bumped up a week. Yeah.
Because they're putting out a new Kung Fu Panda. And
I
don't know, like, do kids... I think there's like a cartoon or something. Like, do kids care about Kung Fu Panda? We don't watch that in our house.
It seems like Kung Fu Panda runs along with, like, Shrek at this point, where the kids that enjoyed Shrek back in the day are now adults, and Now the same can be said for Kung Fu
Kung
Panda.
Fu
So what is this? The fourth Kung Fu Panda?
At least, yeah.
I haven't seen the first Kung Fu Panda, so.
Oh, they're pretty good.
Are they?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I get them confused often with Beverly Hills Ninja. So.
What? Isn't that live action?
Is it?
Isn't it? Is it not?
I think it is.
Am I thinking of Three Ninjas?
Not surf ninjas.
Not Surf Ninjas.
Okay.
Beverly Hills Ninjas is that Chris Farley movie.
It is. Yes.
Okay. Was this a little joke? You were playing a little joke?
I was trying to be funny.
And I didn't know the movie without looking it up. I was like, oh. Is Kung Fu Panda supposed to be like a play on something? Because he's like,
I don't believe so. I don't know.
Panda is like the big guy, like Chris Farley would be a big guy.
It always stems back to, it was like, oh, Kung Fu Panda was originally supposed to be voiced by Chris Farley, but it was voiced, no. I don't know. I don't think that's ever, I don't think that's true. What was Shrek?
Shrek was going to be Chris Farley.
Oh, was it?
They even have the recording.
Oh, interesting. Oh, he played him completely differently too, right?
Yeah, because he didn't have the accent. Mike Myers was just like, I think they recorded stuff, and then Mike Myers, like, halfway through was like, you know what? I think I want him to have an accent. And then they had to do it all over again.
Not just Chris Farley? Okay.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. It's basically just Chris Farley, so if you imagine Shrek, but with Chris Farley.
I can imagine that.
I can imagine that, too, yeah. I think it would have been fine. So that's going on.
Okay. I do have something in front of me right now that I'm very excited to show you.
Oh, good.
Yes. So,
Let's see it.
Bring up Ninja Turtles. How difficult has it been for everyone to find this figure?
Oh, the Foot Soldier, the re-released Foot Soldier. I don't know.
Yes.
I can't even... I feel like I saw it and I passed on it.
Really?
So maybe... I don't remember.
I have never seen it. It's been out for at least 6-7 months at this point.
Yeah.
I have yet to see it.
Okay.
I found it randomly today at Target, so I was very excited. I picked it up.
That's nice that Target is stocking these retro things now, because for a long time it was only Walmart. Ghostbusters, Turtles, Transformers. Yeah. Yep. So Target has we've talked about the Fright features. Target has like an exclusive window. I don't know if it's like a couple weeks or whatever, for whatever reason.
It's at least a month. I think it gets you through the movie space.
The movie doesn't come out till March.
Sure. But then it's wide open. But then
everybody, they'll be on like Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store and everything. Are those, Ollie's eventually, are those $15?
Are they?
Ghostbusters?
I don't know.
But then the original, but the Playmate, or like the Turtles from Playmates are still $10. So I feel like
they are.
That's 15 is too much. But I don't know, were Ghostbusters more expensive than Turtles back in the day?
That's a good question too. I wasn't spending my money on them. It was my parents' money.
I feel like everything was $5. Whether it was an X-Men, Ghostbuster, everything was $5.
Yeah. Everything was either $5, $4.99, maybe $4.49.
Right. $5 was like the max. But then, what did we jump up to 20? Like, what was the in between? I feel like it was like we were at 20 for a long time.
Legends were $10 at one point. I think at some point we skirted around with like $12.99 as a price.
We're at 25 now, 25, 30.
Yeah. Seems
like you think in the future toys will be like $1,000.
Right.
Your Marvel Legend.
Can you imagine?
I don't know, like, does the numbers ever go backwards? Like, it's just going to keep going up?
Sure.
Or just like stop.
Like at what point is the stop point? No, of course.
Toys don't make sense anymore.
What point are we at?
We've
Super
stopped
7
using
territory.
money. Yeah, I know. And then it's like, oh, Super 7 seems like a deal. Wow.
Sure.
Let's talk about the NECA Vault. So we had our first NECA Vault opening day this past week.
Every Monday.
We had a couple items in the NECA Vault, correct?
Yes. We did.
What did we have?
We had items from the Aliens franchise.
Ooh.
So we had Kenner-inspired Vasquez. I believe we had the Kenner-inspired Scorpion Alien or Xenomorph and the Defiance Xenomorph.
Okay.
as pickups, and they lasted. I think they lasted a little while.
Were they their original price?
I think they might have been a little bit more.
Okay.
I could be mistaken, but...
How do you get to the NECA vault? Is it on the NECA store?
I just went to the NECA store site, and and you went to just shopping or shop. Okay. And they were there.
Okay. So I wanted to see if it's like still here. It's like it's like it disappears once it closes. It's like it never existed. So that's fine. They had the aliens, but the item that had everybody talking, is it Django? Is that how you pronounce it?
Django Unchained.
Django Unchained, and these are like the Mego figures. These are the clothed,
correct,
soft goods figures.
Yes.
And these like were intended for retail, but then were pulled because it's
this is a notorious, like, announced, produced in a small amount, and then went up for pre-order, went up for order, and were pulled immediately due to insensitive content. Yeah,
it's like this movie is not
right. I mean, so this was still during Toys R Us days, so these would have wound up at Toys R Us.
Oh, that would
this would have put the adult collectors section at Toys R Us so far into the back room of the store that we'd never be able to find it without asking. You'd have to ask. They'd have to put a curtain up and like ask like an associate. Can I go behind the curtain there?
I'm sorry, no, we can't allow you back there.
How old are you, sir? I'm over 18.
This is like a comedy skit where they would make action figures for like this completely non-kid, like, just like, what are you doing?
Right. These are specifically geared for adults who enjoyed the movie.
I mean, even that, it's like, not every movie needs to have toys made.
No, of course not.
This is one of them that probably didn't need it. But even crazier than that, NECA was charging $1,000 for the set of 6.
Yes.
And that is not what they originally retailed for.
No, not even
that's
close.
Safe to say.
Not even close.
But because of everything surrounding them, the aftermarket is, I'm seeing
absurd.
Like $500 per figure, $3,000 for the set. So if you wanted them, and if you wanted to flip them, you probably were okay with $1,000.
Sure. These were geared. This vault purchase. Okay, but.
No, you go ahead.
Got me. No, I'm just saying that this vault purchase was specifically geared for not your everyday collector, but like your shop collector, your shop owner who wants to buy it and then flip it, you said, for double, triple the price. You can have it sit on the shelf.
Well,
toy fair.
Was that
convention
stated, or you're just making that?
I'm just making that assumption
based on
the
observation. All right.
Yes.
Well, I think this is another example of entering uncharted waters in 2024, where toy companies are like, why should this guy on eBay get all this money for our product? We'll just sell it for that inflated price, cut out the middleman. Okay. So now you have companies that are like, we know you're willing to pay 3 times what this should be worth, so we're just going to sell it to you for that price.
And I agree with you there on that point as well. That makes perfect sense, but
it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
No, of course not. Of course not. It sets a very bad precedent.
Yeah, and now it worked. It sold out immediately. What else are we going to see? What else? Because NECA, it's not a HasLab situation where they found these in the back room. They can just turn on those machines and make more. So it's like you're buying these thinking, oh, I have this rare collectible. It's only as rare as NECA decides it is. It's infinite. They could make infinite quantities of this.
They could.
So the other company this week that is flirting with, it's not scalping because it's their own product, but these inflated prices, McFarlane. And this is weird because we've always talked about how they've really kept prices sane. Like when Marvel Legends were going to 25.
Right.
McFarlane was somehow keeping them low, and we're like, how can he do this? And people are like, well, he's not beholden to a board. He's a private company. Well, now he put a series of Build-A-Figure DC figures on his store for $40 a pop. And these aren't like super special. They're Build-A-Figure. So maybe a little bit more, but like $40.
I wouldn't even say so. $40 is absurd.
Plus shipping, plus tax.
Right.
Yeah. People are not happy. They were writing letters. Letters.
Wow.
And they're like,
don't write here's the thing. Don't write a letter.
Yep.
Just don't buy it.
Well, I think that's also
that
happening.
speaks volumes to writing a letter. Forget about that. Write a letter to your community group as opposed to the corporation and be like, hey, listen, guys, let's collectively get together and not purchase this product. That's an easier thing than a letter campaign. Or do it in conjunction with.
But they want it. They want the toys. So like, I think the thought was maybe they were hoping like, oh, that was a mistake. We're going to lower the price. Because I think that's happened before where people have complained and then the company lowered the price. But not happening. It's not happening here. There is a package deal that if you buy them all together, it's cheaper. It comes out to maybe $25 per figure or something like that. But people not happy, but people probably still going to buy them because there's a really nice Superman in there with a cloth cape. The first time with this cloth cape for a Superman.
Yeah, you got a Kid Flash, weird. I think.
Yeah, so...
I mean, nothing exciting. They're not like... I mean, they're still not... I don't think they're great figures. They're not like... They still have the pinned elbows and pinned knees. It's not hidden. It's just there. So people just, at this point, want them to continue with the packaging and the aesthetic and not miss out. It's FOMO, but... I don't know, like you said, it's wild.
It's a weird set to do this with because it's not a special set. Like you said, there's no highly requested character or anything. So people were speculating that maybe this was a set that was supposed to be for Target, like a Target exclusive, and then Target backed out. So now McFarlane's like, well, we have to make our money back on this.
Oh boy.
So we've already made, or it's like we've made like half of this. We're not going to make the rest, but to make our money back, we have to charge twice as much. We don't really know.
Sure.
But there seems to be something weird. But again, now McFarlane gets to use this as a trial balloon and see if people are willing to pay $40 directly to them. Because maybe there is a future where you don't have a Target, or Target doesn't buy as much of your stuff. And you have to sell it direct, but you have to sell it for more because you can't make as much. So again, 2024, lots of conversations being had about toys and what the future of toys looks like. Last week, we talked about Mickey Mouse going into public domain. And in that video, I referenced this TikTok creator who uses a Mickey Mouse puppet. And he does reaction videos and he says vulgar things as Mickey Mouse. And I said that there was a point where Disney was like, knock it off. And he did for a little while, but then he brought it back because people like the puppet. They want to see the puppet. He took offense, the puppet, the man behind the puppet, the man inside the puppet. He took offense to what we said, so much so that he sent us a voice memo through Instagram, which is not something I even knew you could do. Like, rather than typing out his message, he recorded 2 separate voice messages and sent them to us, which is very unique. Thank you, sir. But then he was also like, I'm not going to respond to your video. But then he did, like, a little bit later. So it's like he was so mad that he, like, couldn't help himself. And, like, we didn't say anything bad about him. We just said that Disney said knock it off. And he did, but then he brought it back, and he's saying that's not the case. So, you know, I do feel bad because, you know, he's a fellow creator, and I don't want people mad at us. So I want to clear the air. I want to be friends with him. So I invited someone on the show today to issue an apology, if you will, to the Mickey Mouse puppet guy. So Kermit the Frog.
Hi, Kermit.
All right, Kermit, thank you so much. I think now the air has been cleared. I think we're all on the same page. We can move forward. Maybe we can even collaborate if you'd like to have Mickey and Kermit. Oh, how about that dream team? So you know our number. You clearly know how to contact us. So We'll see how that goes. So Bill,
you're doing better than Pixel Dan ever did. So thank you.
Oh, I know. I would. Oh man, what I wouldn't give for an angry voicemail from Pixel Dan. My God. Oh, I would frame it. I don't even know how that would work. But I would figure it out. You okay over there?
I'm going wild.
Wow. What do you got there?
Well, I was at a Target and I stumbled across the new Turtles of Grayskull line.
Oh, you found them. Very fancy.
I did. So I found an empty box. That's all I found. Someone swiped.
Yeah, that's what I would find in mine, probably.
There it is. Right.
That's a nice box.
I saw them. It is a nice box. This is the only one I was able to preserve because, like toys should be, I let my son open the remainder of them because they weren't perfect.
Let them breathe.
They weren't perfect. They were already on the shelf peg, so the
little. Oh, but you
thing
preserved
was already
it.
Popped out. Yep.
But it's behind.
Well, they were on there they were on there ever so gingerly, so they
had like
just
one
fell right off.
hanging Chad was still attached to it.
So I walked by the display. I sent you a photo. I said, "What do you think?" And you said, "Obviously, you should get them."
It's content for the show.
It is, it's content for the show. So I expect a reimbursement. But yeah, I'll write
it off for your taxes for next year.
I should try that. Oh, you're right.
Absolutely should try that. Get me a guy.
There we go.
They can do our taxes.
There we go. So the set of 4, the first series, with the exception of the Mousetrap, is that it? Mousejaw Deluxe figure. I found.
Who is naming these? The worst names. The worst. Like, this is the laziest naming. Mousejaw.
Well, there was, not to bring up another content creator and call him out, but there is a content creator on TikTok who specializes in turtles. Outside of Pixel Dan, he's got a very nice voice. He does a lot of, he focuses on one thing for turtles, whether it's a new item or something else. I don't know the user's name. However,
you don't know. Okay, I thought you were like trying to skirt around who it was. You just don't know.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay,
it could be like Turtle Collector 94.
His name is this. There you go.
Yeah,
all right,
that's fine. So he picked up the Mousejaw figure, but he had no reference to Masters of the Universe. So it was completely a foreign concept. He doesn't collect that.
Oh,
so it was like a very odd type of review for him. I feel like it took him out of his element. Whereas with me,
these are
I'm
He-Man
familiar
figures.
with both. They are.
They're just
so right now I'm
flavored
holding
He-Man figures.
Oh, they're excellent though. So right now I'm holding Man-at-Arms.
Okay.
Man-at-Arms. They're very toyetic, I would say.
What's his back? He's got like
He's got
shield? What is that?
He's got a shell.
Oh, it's a shell. Removable. It looks like a shell.
Yes. So it's a shield.
I need to get these.
It's a shield.
They still in stock.
And a shell. He's got a nice fur wrap on the back.
I like that.
Very vibrant color. And then he gets paired with... So I thought at the time when these first got revealed that Donatello would be taking up the mantle of like Man-at-Arms.
Sure.
Because they're both very, very similar.
Very similar.
But they're taking up the tech portion. The exciting thing about this figure is that the bow staff and Man-at-Arms club combine.
What the hell?
Into one large baton.
Oh my God! It's like the world's biggest Q-tip.
It is like the world. It's like if he was on American Gladiators.
Yes.
He was on the joust.
Oh, it's the joust. That's oh my God!
And again, his shell removable. These figures, they're very. It is, but like once you take the shell off, they're very Battletoad-esque. Like they're very very slender. But look at look at that.
Important to the
so much. Aesthetic. The shell is important. I don't really want to take it off because it does disturb me once it's off. Because a turtle without its shell shouldn't
even be
alive.
Without a foot. Like what is that thing?
Right.
What is? It's gross. Right. What is that? A frog? Ugh.
So, I do appreciate them. I do like them because they are different enough.
Yeah.
Leonardo, very very great figure. As I said, I wasn't ready for this segment yet, and I had let my son play with these. So this one wound up in his bed, as well as the He-Man. but the second half of the power sword is still up in his bed, which does combine. So Leonardo does come with 2 katana-esque blades that do combine into one. The only drawback with it is you can't fit both of them either in his holster in the back, and you definitely can't fit them both in combined.
Oh, well, that's a
so it looks a little odd, but
flaw, it seems like
a little bit. But
what's
such a dynamic
part?
Figure. The top part
the
where
fur?
Right,
it's
fur again, similar to Man at Arms. He's got fur. He's very kind of barbarian-esque.
Yeah,
these look like these feel like akin to like that Flash Forward.
Yes.
Set that they did. They're very the coloring, the
Yes.
brightness of the blue, and just
no translucent
how,
though, right?
No translucent, but they're nice and skinny.
They're skinny,
but excellent figure. And then to round it out, we've got Mutated. So the story behind it is that Krang and Shredder open a dimensional portal.
Okay.
They meet up with Skeletor, and they take the mutagen, and they make it almost magical.
Ooh.
Like an enchanted not an enchanted mutagen, but it's like a magical mutagen.
Sense. It's magical.
And then He-Man goes out to fight Skeletor and find out what's going on, and then never returns. And then at the end of the comic, he shows up as mutated He-Man.
Damn.
And this figure is, as much as this first wave's good, I'd say this is probably the weakest figure in the set so far.
Okay.
They gave him a little bit of he's almost got like a gorilla arms, like his long arms.
I was going to say he's got
longer.
really long arms. Yeah.
He's translucent, but it's not like translucent where you can see the articulation points in it. It's cloudy.
Okay. Well, that's a lot better.
But again, lots of fun. I think that's a winning point in terms of how translucent figures should be, because you can't see the articulation point, which is always like Iceman or anything like that.
Yeah, it's like a gummy bear.
There goes the arm. But I've seen people hold them up to a black light, and he looks amazing. Like he's got like almost like a glow feature to him.
That's fun.
So a lot of fun. Well, the green hair, it's really shining real bright on the on my camera here. So
people are speculating about the future of this line and like which characters would be like combined with which. And somebody, this is actually what is really selling me on this. Somebody floated the idea that there would be a Too Bad character made up of Rocksteady and Bebop, and I'm like, yes, give me that. I need to see what that looks like.
I feel like 100% that's in the pipeline. Somebody actually just done a custom of that. They took the NECA Rocksteady and Bebop and they combined them to look like that.
So I like these a lot. I think going with the Origins body was smart. But I like these so much, I almost want to see them do it in the other scale, the Masterverse scale, and make them a little more detailed.
Oh, sure.
Could you see that, like having the double jointed knees and elbows?
I would say I would say if these are successful enough, which I went to another Target today and I went looking specifically. I showed off that the hell that foot soldier. I went out this morning to see if I could find the mouse jaw figure, and Targets are just wildly inconsistent when it comes to their resets. So some will have them up, some will still just have the clearance and try to work through that through the aisle. So no setup for any Turtles of Grayskull at my local Target this morning. But that would be excellent. That'd be nice.
This is what's going to save Masters of the Universe. Forget about Flash Gordon, savior of the universe. Turtles are the saviors of the Masters of the Universe, because this it's hidden me in all the feels. I love this take on the Turtles. I think it's so fun.
It's a lot of fun. It really is. The only price point. The problem is the price point.
Little pricey. Little
pricey. Someone brought up with the packaging itself. On it, there's no indication of Playmates involvement on the package.
No, because they're not Mattel. Involved. Yeah.
They're not. So it's completely through Nickelodeon as it were.
Right.
Partnership with Mattel and Nickelodeon
Yes.
to make this.
Licensing deal through Nickelodeon. Just like the NECA
Yes.
stuff, it's not... Playmates doesn't own the Turtles. They never did.
What wild legal
Or
loopholes.
did they at one
Toys.
point? Toys are crazy, right?
Toys are crazy.
It's like they can't make toys for... I'm trying to think if there was like a property they couldn't figure... Like Monster Squad or something. Like people don't know who owned the rights to that, so nobody could make toys. It's just bizarre how things work.
Toys are crazy. I was at that same Target, and there was something I really wanted, and I don't like paying full price for Jurassic World exclusives. I really like playing that waiting game and sticking around for it. So I checked the app this morning. It said that this was in stock, but it said limited quantity, and that either means that there's one left or their stock status is out of whack. So I went in, not expecting to see it for the clearance price it in, because obviously clearance on their website versus in store is always inconsistent too. So I went in, I found the the Containment Chaos Pack with the Velociraptor from the beginning of Jurassic Park.
Right.
So you got Muldoon, the two technicians, and the Velociraptor, plus the cage that goes awry. Do you know how much I paid for this whole set?
$12.
$12. That's right.
Whoa! Right on the nose.
$12.
Still too much.
How amazing. Still too much. It was regularly $39.99. Look at all that fun.
I do like the cage.
Look at that.
Here's the thing. Anytime you show me one of these smaller raptors, I just think about how much I love the Amber Collection raptors.
Of course, right.
It's such a downgrade. It makes me sick thinking about it.
Right.
I
know.
Raptors.
This isn't even, and that's the thing too. This raptor isn't even the Hammond Collection.
Oh, it's not?
Raptor. No.
Just the crappiest raptor they have.
Right. So the figures themselves with the human characters look great. Lots of accessories, lots of different ways to customize them through like knee pads and walkie-talkies and vests.
Oh,
but
you can dress up the security guys to make different versions? That's fun.
Right.
You can buy multiple sets.
I don't know if I'll buy multiple sets because I keep all these in box because I like the way
I'm just saying
they
in
display.
theory,
nice
that's like
open.
what they want you to do.
In theory, yeah, you could really build out your
that's
your
smart.
InGen.
It should come with different heads, and then you could be like the raptor decapitated one of them and just have it rolling around.
So really, I mean, I was very excited to find this.
Well, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the cage part of it. That'd be a fun design or display option. So last week we talked about Marvel's What If and how I'm sort of lukewarm to it. It just sort of annoys me. It's like I'm just like annoyed that it exists. But somebody floated that there is a rumor that Disney may be considering doing a What If version of Star Wars. Okay. And as indifferent as I am to the Marvel version, that's how excited I am at the prospects of What If Star Wars.
What do
you think?
So, I would say it's been done in a couple ways. They had in the old expanded universe, they did Star Wars Infinities, which was almost like What Ifs. What if? What is it? Darth Vader joined the light side.
Yeah, the white armor. We got that figure recently.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's exciting, but at the same time, I'm like, what if? Not to even bring that up, but what happens when someone says, well, I'd rather see a continuation of this?
Yes, I know. That's what I think is going to happen. This is almost like Disney being like, well, what do you want?
Right.
Which one
so
do
what
you
is this?
like?
This is the canon trajectory we want it to go into.
It's like a yak face poll, except which episode got watched the most. Because they're going to do things like, what if 3PO had 2 red arms? Wow. Oh. So it's like, what if Yoda was tall?
What if Jar Jar Binks was the Sith Lord this whole time?
Yes. Well, very interesting that you bring that up, because another rumor, a leak from a Lego person who has a history of accurately providing news on Lego, says that there is a Lego Dark Side Millennium Falcon that includes Vader in a white outfit, a Jar Jar Binks, and some other characters. And then everybody's sort of connecting the dots because Lego doesn't usually just do random bullshit. It's usually tied to media. So maybe this is a thing that's happening.
Oh, yeah, because they need to be building stuff well beforehand.
Yes. So it could be a thing.
It could.
The Bad Batch
what if it
is
didn't
ending.
Rhyme? Yes, it is.
They need a cartoon in that spot. Yeah, I'm just saying. Right. Think about it. People seemed very positive.
There's plenty because at the end, it's what they want to see. It's
I mean, pretty much any of the new.
They could go the route of like, what if in the MCU where it's like an overarching thing? I'd prefer they stay away from that and do almost like how they did with the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, where it was like an episode. Not so much related to each episode, but each one was its own adventure, like standalone.
Yeah. I think there are moments in Star Wars where we wonder, like, what if this happened? What if Han didn't come out of the carbonite? What if Luke turned? What if Leia
Han
turned?
Didn't shoot first?
Yeah, I know. All those there's just so many opportunities. And then with the sequels, my God. That's what really needs some what ifs. There are so many opportunities to right some wrongs. Yikes! Sure. So I'm excited and then think of the toys.
Think of the toys.
This is what could save Hasbro.
This could save Star Wars, for crying out loud. Forget about Hasbro.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This could save everything. This is what can do it. And this is almost like we were talking way back about how you can use AI to like insert your head into there. Mm-hmm. It's like use AI to see where the story goes. Like, no, I want to change this. And then it just writes a whole new branch on the sacred timeline. We see what happens.
Of course.
Yeah.
We'll see. Only time will tell.
So that's fun. Time will tell. Time is the something. I was trying to say something profound there, but I don't know. Speaking of Star Wars, they announced that there's going to be a movie called The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Okay.
Back in the saddle. Bad habit.
Rides again. Starring Pedro Pascal's body double. Yes, and right. So, are you excited about a Grogu movie? So so I'm seeing a lot of different things. Is this substituting in for a season 4 of The Mandalorian? Are we just capping it off? You have to think that is the case. But then you have that Filoni movie that it's supposed to tie all these worlds together. So is that like later on, and this is the bridge to get us there? I was at a party season 2 is apparently happening. Is it? Okay, well, we knew that would probably happen. But I was at a party last night, and a party? One of my wife's birthday party? My wife has an office party. You just had like an adult party? It was an adult party. I was the guy that was just sitting in the corner. Did you bring wine? What do you do? To me. Like in the movies? No, this was at a bar. It was at a bar, so everybody was drinking. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like a birthday party. Is that what adults do? I don't know. I guess. It was very tough. It was very tough for me to kind of understand the dynamic because I work in one area of the world where if you say the wrong thing, it's the end of your life. Whereas my wife works not the end of your life, but your career. You say something bad, someone can take it out of context. Damn. My wife though, works in the medical field in an office where it's just wild talk. Like Jerry Springer, like kicked up, like the pay-per-view. Like I would say pay-per-view Jerry Springer from back in the day. That's her. They did pay-per-view Jerry Springer. Jesus, They did. They saved the. I don't even understand what. Right, it was too wild. All for bets TV. Are off. It was too wild for TV. Is that what it was called? Too Wild for TV. Probably not, but is that like the VHS they would sell? No, it was on VHS. You would find it there. Crossover with Girls Gone Wild or something. Sure. What is happening? Okay, so yours, and then you add alcohol to salty it. Language. Just like, wow, yeah, so salty. Just the lowest lowbrow stuff that you'd be like, what are you saying? Oh my god. So, but I was having Mickey puppet there. He might have been. I don't know. I don't want to say that he was because I don't want to offend him. We're trying to get
That's
on
right.
his good
We don't
side.
want to. We don't want him to be bad.
I don't want to upset his career.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, I was talking. Oh my god, I lost my train of thought. No, well, just to go back, I don't think season 3 of The Mandalorian was the strongest, and I had this conversation with one of my wife's coworkers last night that I feel like if The Mandalorian had to end, it ended at season 2. In terms of
how does season 2 end? He's not.
Season 2 ends. They're on the Imperial cruiser. They defeat Moff Gideon. They capture him.
Luke shows up. He kills he destroys all the Dark Troopers. And then the Mandalorian passes Grogu off to Luke. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, this season was weird.
It felt complete. It didn't have any of that tie-in with Book of Boba Fett where Grogu shows up midway through, and then in the 3rd season you're like, oh, how did Grogu get back? For the uninitiated. For you and I, we both knew how he got back, but
I still say, who's watching Mandalorian but doesn't want to see Boba Fett at all? You just like
that's a good question.
Noped out of that. Like, no, I'm only here from Mandalorian.
You're here. I don't know.
Who cares about the most popular character in the history of Star Wars up to this point? I'm just watching Mandalorian.
Right. I'm just watching Mandalorian for that.
Yeah,
Pedro Pascal voice.
So
sure,
his voice. All right, I don't know what the point is we were making there, but they're making that movie apparently.
Are you excited about this Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Which I have to say, after season 3 of The Mandalorian, I'm a little bit indifferent.
I just wanted them to be able to put some money into the animation so that when Baby Yoda jumps, it doesn't look like they just threw the doll.
Just throwing the
doll. Looks so bad. Man. I don't understand. It looked so bad. I know. I have a little kitty.
I'll bring her.
My puppet. My puppet. It's all about puppets today. We all got things. What's her name?
Back.
Spooky Julia. Right.
There she is.
Who could forget? She's always watching over us.
Yes, Spooky Julia.
Very good. What else?
Yeah, so I hope it doesn't suck, but you know what does suck is this tiny USB mini vacuum cleaner that I got at the Dollar Tree the other day.
Oh, you got a Dollar Tree?
Wow. Yes. So I can't plug it in my active setup without disabling everything else, so I will not do that to you. But it's a nice little office.
Does it work?
Vacuum cleaner. It does. It does.
I gotta go check out Dollar Tree. Your Dollar Tree, you've had such good luck there. I have to say, 2023, the Dollar Tree fell out of my good graces. I did not find anything there last year.
No,
terrible.
I still have to send you the my mother at this point is like, you need to send Paul the Lego turtles that we picked up for him. And I go, I know we do, Mom. I know.
I would also like Deadeye Duck from Bucky O'Hare.
Yeah, he's here.
You said you got me one of those. What else?
Yeah, I'm looking at him.
There's some other things.
The world's smallest.
Yeah, the world's smallest. I sent up your Mandalorian with my mom, so you can go get that whenever you want.
Right.
That is available.
No, she sent me a text. She said specifically yesterday or today. And
either one.
I failed to do either because
I'll just have her mail it to you.
Right.
The mailman will pick it up and be like, "What? You paid?" Just like walk down the street. Here you go. All right. Well, very good. This is a weird one. This is one of those weird toys where I kind of like it, but I'm also like, I don't know that I need it, but I probably will get it. The Ben Cooper costume kids from NECA.
Right.
So if you don't know the name Ben Cooper, you definitely know these costumes if you look at them. It's like the plastic mask that's just the half face, or like the front part of the face, and then the shirt was like a plastic apron.
It's a plastic shirt with either decoration or like a poster or something stupid. Like it made no sense.
The logo or the face of the character.
It's the most embarrassing costume, but it was part of
all we had.
Someone's generation. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So you'd have Batman's mask, you'd have Batman, and then you might have the logo, but you might have a picture of Batman and Robin on there.
Yeah, exactly. You never knew. But it's very, the nostalgia is very high on this because we remember it, and there are some good ones.
Right.
So this first set is like monsters, but I mean, this is it's licensed through these were actual costumes that were produced. So we don't have any like, I don't know, are these Universal monsters? I guess NECA has that license.
Some
so maybe
are.
These are allowed to be that.
Yeah, these are allowed. So you have the creature from the Black Lagoon, and you have a couple. I think you have Frankenstein as well.
Yeah.
In that very
Mummy,
very
devil.
nice coloring. There's a witch.
There's like
they look great. What are there? What are they?
Great.
6 of them for $100?
5. There's no witch.
5.
I'm not seeing
no
it here.
witch. Okay.
No.
Easier pill to swallow than those Django Unchained figures. So
a little bit, yeah. But you got to buy the set. They're not sold individually, and they're only
That's
on Big Bad
okay.
Toy Store, as far as I can see. I don't know if they'll be sold at Target. Maybe they'll be sold individually at Target. That'd be nice.
Maybe.
They're about 6 inches tall because it's a kid. It's like
it's a kid.
Like,
so
they're the Mego scale, but it's a kid, so they're
Right.
smaller.
Right now, I'm looking at the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch figures that they did in that scale, and they'd make excellent companion pieces to those.
Yeah. But there are no pictures of the heads without the mask on, so I wonder if there's a face. You'd have to think there's a face. Like, it's got to be removable, but maybe
generic.
Not.
I feel like they would dip
removable.
into like they dip into like Robot Chicken aesthetic at that point. Like it would be like a really odd like face attached to these.
Well, they should do what those like Japanese like ripoff companies do, where it's like a famous face underneath. So it's like you're really buying it, so it looks like Tom Cruise, but it's got a mask on, so nobody can like sue you.
They're all Macaulay Culkin. You look at any of the toy. I think they did. Yeah. They must have done. Did they do Kevin from Home Alone? In
NECA
the Mego style, they did the bandits.
Yes. They did. Yep, they did Kevin.
They did Marvin. What's his name? Shoot. It's Danny DeVito. Not Danny DeVito. What's wrong with Joe Pesci's character? Harry and Marv. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Watched it like 3 times in the last week.
Sure. In the last week?
My kid's been really into Home Alone. Like,
is that why you watched the Scarlett Johansson version?
The third one? Yeah, we watched that like twice. That's a very violent movie. I was
They're
shocked.
all violent. They're so violent.
More so with this. There's a lot of gunplay involved in that movie.
That's different. That's not okay.
Like
there shouldn't be guns in Home Alone. Is it from the bad guys?
There's one.
The kid got some guns.
Both.
Oh my god.
At one point,
okay.
One of the bad guys is pointing it at the kid, and then it winds up just being a dart, and the kid's like, "Oh, I switched it," and he goes bang, and like it scares the guy out of the house, and it's a bubble gun. But it's like it looks real, and it's like what?
Sure. Did it have the orange tip?
No, it did not.
No, see?
No, I was like, oh my gosh,
this got
real. This really got real with this kid. He's pushed too far.
I know. If I was Kevin, I would get my gun license because, like, if this keeps happening to me, at some point you got to stand your ground.
Sure.
Like,
but this wasn't Kevin. This
Hot
was
Wheel cars are only going to take you so far.
Of course, yeah. Bulbs underneath the open window.
It's not Christmas. You don't have these ornaments to use as weapons. Like, what are you supposed to do the rest of the year? Throw jack-o'-lanterns at people?
Yeah, this was a little bigger because it was like have you ever seen the third one at all?
No.
Or were you like,
I've only seen the
dropped
first
off?
2. No, of course not. No.
The bad guys are after this this chip, this missile defense chip that could somehow winds up.
You went from these guys are stealing money from the collection plate. Somebody who wants the technology. My God!
Right? They're looking for a missile defense chip. We gotta
up the stakes.
Yeah, it's so up. They're like, we're not doing 2, we're doing 4 bad guys at this point. Yeah, they're looking for this missile defense chip that can change the trajectory of a region.
Jesus!
And it winds up at this kid's house.
Sometimes these plots, like, you hear this Home Alone 3, you know what the story is. And I was talking to you last week about the Beethoven movies and how, like, you think of Beethoven, everybody watched that. It's about the big Saint Bernard, and he joins the family, and it's like the dad is like, I don't want a big dog, he slobbers all over him. The plot to Beethoven is that there is this veterinarian who is developing a bullet that can kill people. I don't know, but he wants He wants Beethoven because Beethoven's skull is the size of a human, and he wants to shoot him in the head with this fancy bullet. That is the plot to Beethoven.
That's the weirdest thing.
I don't remember that at all. It's crazy. Look it up on IMDb. It's real.
I'm gonna have to. I wonder which Beethoven this was.
The first one.
No, it wasn't the first one.
It was the first one.
Really?
That's how the series starts. It's wild. I know.
I thought they wanted to steal
you,
Beethoven to make puppies with him because he was such a good bred dog. I thought that was.
Want to shoot him in the head?
Jesus.
Well, it makes. I mean, that doesn't that make you want to root for him more? Like, I really.
Yeah, you really want him to live.
Charles Grodin, like, come on, you gotta love this dog. You don't want him to get shot in the head with a special bullet.
Forget about any other dog. Specifically Beethoven.
Yeah.
God, what a sick veterinarian who's.
Right. You don't have to take like an oath to like do no harm to animals like you do like a real doctor.
As a munitions expert. My God.
It makes you think. It
really does.
All right. Well, I don't think we can top that.
No.
You got anything else?
Had mini vacuum and killing a pet.
Killing the Saint Bernard with a special bullet because he's got a human-sized skull. All right, Bill. Well, you know what we say. We don't want to grow up, but we already did. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye, everyone.